Figure 4 Radio.
Hello, welcome to Figure 4 Radio. My name is the Mastermind Ollie Spring. I'm joined as always by the Killer Kai Brand.
Good, hello.
And today we are joined by Danny Mayhem.
All right.
Danny Mayhem, how you doing, man?
Yeah, good.
So we've known you for a while now. You and me go back a long way in the workplace, at least. Let's go right back to the start.
Okay.
How did you get into wrestling? Like, how did it all start for you?
Weird, really. Started by kind of fell out of love of playing football every weekend.
I think that's easy enough to do. Yeah. I never fell in love with it, to be honest.
So I thought I need to find something else to do in my time, otherwise I'm going to turn into a big fat bloater. And I'd wanted to do wrestling for a while. A friend of mine was going to come originally with me, and we had the idea of being a tag team.
Did they ever get into it?
No. A week before we were going to do it, he blew his knee out playing Sunday football. So then I was like, look, just come with me, watch the session, it's my first time, you can see how we go. So I went, met Kai, who was training at the time, and then he never came back and I stayed.
No, I remember that first session because the guy who was running it at the time decided he was going to put us together and like, right, we're going to do some chain wrestling. I'm like, I've only done chain wrestling once. So me and you were hooking up, and I remember that, and it was like, okay, so now what do we do? It's like, I don't know. And you obviously knew nothing because you just started, and I knew nothing because I'm a total jackass. It was just, it was good fun.
Definitely, yeah. Well, I came back. You didn't.
Well, no, I did. I kind of hurt my hip doing a fall-away slam on Shane DeRaper, and
he was a big boy.
Yeah, and I didn't really recover after that, and healthy, whatever. So I never really came back after that. But I remember that first day we were practicing suplex on the crash mat, and I think I mentioned this. I've mentioned this all the time, that I've given myself a black eye, and you were the fella, you were the guy who was giving me that fisherman suplex. How do you feel on your first night doing that?
Well, to begin with, obviously I had no idea, so I thought no one's going to make me do a suplex on my first go, and then I get thrown in with a suplex, and this fella turns up with a banging his knee in his eye, and you thinking that it's you, but you just got to laugh about it, carry on.
So your debut match, your first ever match, was as part of the Bone Shakers, right?
No, my debut was in a Royal Rumble.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Later.
That doesn't count.
Does that not count?
Like your first proper match?
First proper match, yeah. Because I wasn't even Danny Mayhem at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
I was just Gaz. Literally, not
just
Gaz, but Gaz.
Yeah.
So then the first one was what was it called? The big one.
WrestleStock.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So we were the dark match at WrestleStock.
WrestleStock. And you were against
the Asylum.
Yes.
Jigsaw and Headcase. And we went over.
Yes, I remember that well. So that was you and Oil Tanker.
Yes.
Do you speak to Tanker anymore?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because I miss that guy.
Yeah,
Tanker, if you're listening, we miss you, man.
We do. I talk to him every now and then. Saw him recently. He's done wonders again on WWE 2K16 with his created characters, which I go and mark out on a regular basis. Oh. But I still talk to him.
Now, WrestleStock was in Dunstable. I'm pretty sure. Was it a year later or just further down the line? You won your first ever tag team championships there. Now we commentated on that match, and I don't think it was ever released. It was always on our
footage, and I'm desperate to.
It was always on our list of things to release. It never happened. I don't think. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it ever will happen. Talk us through the match. What do you remember about the match? And tell us what it was like when you won.
Was it our first? I think it was the first sort of like stipulation match that myself or Josh had been in, whether it be like hardcore or anything like that. So to get given a tables match was kind of like wow. And in the pre-planning, I don't know if we're allowed to go into the secrets behind the scene. Okay. So in planning, the four of us had been planning probably a week or so in advance of knowing, obviously because of the four of us knew each other well, trained with each other regularly, so we kind of knew each other's stuff. So for the spots we wanted to kind of go a bit bigger.
Who is it against? Just
Kai Payne and Taylor Made.
The Diamond Club.
The Diamond Club, yeah. So it was, we could kind of come up with stuff, and originally we wanted it to be an elimination one, so we'd have 2 tables. It was only when we turned up at the venue that we only had the 1 table, so I had to change some stuff. And originally, I was going through a table. Me and TaylorMade were going to go through one at the same time, which I was looking forward to. Obviously, being a massive Mick Foley fan, got told you're going for a table. It was just like, here we go. Now we can go. And then obviously later on, we got the other hardcore matches and stuff. But originally, with the planning and everything, we were meant to go through one together. It didn't happen. So in the end, it happened. Myself and Josh ended up power bombing Kai Payne through a table, which obviously, as a wrestling fan, you mark out inside because that's what you're in it for.
Well, there's one question I want to ask, because I remember commentating it, knowing you and knowing Tanker himself. The emotions when that bell hit, when that table snapped, we just saw your face. What was going through yours and Tanker's minds at the point where you won that table?
Yeah,
that title. Sorry,
we were fairly green. We didn't expect to kind of get thrust that higher up the card
quite quickly.
Yeah, that quickly. I think a lot of it kind of, you get the whole kind of right place, right time. We were a heel tag team in a company that didn't have a lot of heel tag teams, and we were losing tag teams. We'd lost the Asylum, we'd lost the Masters of the Universe, so it was kind of a little bit like I don't feel we deserve this, but I'm going to take it, because I ain't ever turning anything like that. As soon as someone says, oh, we're thinking about putting you over in a tables match, it was like, yes, thank you very much, I'll take that. So like when it actually, like even anyone knows in this business, until the match has actually happened and finished, anything can change. The card changes, the storyline changes ever so slightly. They want to do something slightly different, so you may know for weeks in advance that you're well on your way to going over at an event. You turn up at the event, we've changed it slightly, they're going over because of this, and something slightly changes, so you can kind of, not until we put him through the table or we planned the finish did we know, right, now we've done it. So it was kind of like, right. And I can't even tell you the feeling because I don't remember it.
I mean, because you two were heels.
Yeah.
But there was a moment that it was for you two that you two looked like your baby faces. And we kind of felt that emotions, me and Ollie being there, because we know you guys, we know where you started from. You obviously gave me a black eye. It was like, that lad's got it. Right. And so we kind of saw that emotions going through your head, and we knew like kayfabe was straight out the window at that point. Just
yeah, I think we tried to keep it as heelish as possible, but
when you win your first title,
that's it. And the first thing that you think of is, well, I think of anyway, I think of a small man and a big man winning the tag team titles. It was HBK and Diesel, and HBK just jumps up into the arms of, and we did it on several of our we did it on the debut victory. I jumped into his arms, and then we did it on the tag title one as well, and it was just kind of, for me, that was what I wanted to do when I was a little kid watching that shit. So as soon as I was doing it, that's why now I am literally, everything I do, I've taken from somebody, whether it's Scott Hall, Mick Foley, or whoever.
Well, are those the guys who are very inspirational for you when you were growing up? Who was that inspiration?
Well, I've got several kind of key people, but I was never a fan of like the top carders. Never. It was never Hulk Hogan. It was never like the Ultimate Warrior and that sort of thing. I was a Mr. Perfect fan.
Nice.
Cried when Bret Hart beat him for the Intercontinental title, because I was absolutely devastated that my boy had lost. Yeah. And obviously at the time I didn't get the whole babyface and heel thing. It was just who I liked. You
like that guy. He was your guy.
It was my boy.
So what was your? Can you remember your first match that you ever kind of watched that kind of made an impact on you?
We moved to Milton Keynes when I was 3, and obviously Milton Keynes had like the old school cable television where you got plumbed into your house, Sky One. Never even seen it, obviously. So I think I was probably about 5 or 6, and my mum, I woke up one morning, I couldn't tell you what day of the week it was or anything, but I specifically remember mum saying, come downstairs, I recorded something on TV for you to watch. So down we go, she puts it on, And my first image that I've got of wrestling was Sergeant Slaughter with Colonel Mustafa and all the boys, and he was slapping the camel clutch on someone. I couldn't tell you who it was, but literally as soon as I was just like, wow, this is serious. These boys, and then from then on, it was literally, we never had like proper Sky. So back in the day, it was my granddad would record it on the Sunday night. We would then go to see them on the Sunday, like the next Sunday. So we had to wait a week to watch a pay-per-view. Me and my brother would wait a week, and obviously we didn't have the internet, we didn't have anything, so it was a case of like, you never knew. You didn't know unless you went to school and someone had Sky Sports. That was the only way you knew.
Yeah.
So most of the time, avoided the results and then watched it like a week later, or if we were lucky enough, someone from the family would be like passing from work or because of work or something, so they drop it in so that we get to see it earlier. But yeah, that was the earliest image I have is Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah. Do you have like a favourite match, or like the first match that you watch from start to finish? Because everyone can say what's the best match ever, but everyone's got that first match that stands out as being the one that like grabbed them by the throat, pulled them in.
I've got kind of two.
Yeah.
The first one is the Mr. Perfect Bret Hart.
Was that WrestleMania 8?
I think so.
Or is it a SummerSlam match?
I was going to say, it's either a Mania or a SummerSlam.
It was a big show.
Yeah. And just kind of generally getting devastated by that. And then the next one was obviously the Shawn Michaels Razor Ramon ladder match.
Yeah, WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, that was just... They're the two matches that stick out for me for kind of the two people that I watched the most growing up.
So that goes back quite a way in that case, doesn't it?
Well, I'm 32, so I was primed and ready for the Attitude Era. So for me, the Monday Night Wars are massive, and as you both know, I'm a massive WCW fan. And not just because of Scott Hall. I generally, again, back then we didn't get Monday Night Raw live. We didn't get Nitro live. Raw was on, I think it was on a Friday night on Sky Sports 3. And then Nitro was either on the Friday night or it was the Saturday night on Channel 4.
Well, I watched it Friday night on TNT. We had Sky then. So it was on Friday night as well. So between Raw or WCW, I would always pick WCW just because I just thought that was such a better production.
Absolutely. It was, a lot of it was because I wasn't seeing wrestlers that I was seeing all the time. I'd had the WWE drummed into me because that's all we got. As soon as we started getting WCW, it was just like, I'm starting to see Razor Ramon. I'm starting to see Kevin Nash. But I'm also seeing people like Chris Jericho, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, and that was kind of, and obviously never being the biggest geezer myself, the cruiserweights of WCW drew me in. Never maybe utilised as well as they should have been, but that was the draw for me. And then obviously on top of that, you had people like Scott Hall, Kevin Nash, again Hogan, and the rest of it. So I got drawn into Nitro on that basis, while everyone else obviously was madly in love with WWE, and it used to kind of record both, watch both, and at the time it was WCW was better.
So flash forward to 2016. I'm still a TNA fan. Kai watches Lucha Underground. Luke watches Raw all the time. I watch a bit of NXT. What's floating your boat at the moment?
NXT is I've watched some Lucha Underground. I watched the whole of the first season of Lucha. Absolutely loved it. But then it's just one of those things that's difficult to kind of keep watching. If not from a standpoint of the actual show itself, I mean accessing it. Like I was watching it on YouTube and trying to find the same person that's uploading it, so you're getting like the same quality every week. That was what I found hard, because I'm not a massive very good at all at kind of finding streaming sites for stuff.
I'll give you one later.
Okay, cool.
And a streaming site.
Yeah,
because I'm terrible at that. So it was more the kind of the hassle of trying to find the right copy of Lucha was what stopped me kind of watching it. But at the moment, I don't watch Raw, I don't watch SmackDown, purely from basis as
you have a life.
That and also the
so
fact
much
that
wrestling.
I don't have Sky Plus. so I can't record it to watch it. I use Sky Go, so if I was going to watch it, I'd have to watch it live, and
you're doing other things, you're wrestling, you're doing whatnot.
So it's not good.
One bit I want to talk about is there was that unfortunate incident in Milton Keynes. Everyone knows about it. Okay. How did you re-establish yourself? Or how did you re-establish yourself?
There was a time when I kind of thought, do I really need to have this kind of going on? No resentment to any of the guys that I shared a locker room with or anything like that, but it was just like, I kind of got into this as a hobby to get me away from the drama that football was bringing. So
the drama kind of is still around.
So it was just like, do I just jack all this in and just forget about it? And that wasn't serious thought, because I just thought, well, I've built myself up to this point as this character.
To me, it kind of struck me that it kind of happened at a time where you guys were really starting to. You had a really awesome series of matches with Diamond Club.
That was it.
You were tearing it up all over, kind of Milton Keynes and Leighton Buzzard and Dunstable.
We got this kind of. We had a bit of momentum behind us as a four. Yeah, the four of us. So when that all kind of went off, it was like, right, okay, what would I do? How would I go about it? Didn't really know, wasn't sure kind of if I was going to bother again. And then a few of the guys that had gone over to the Hope Training School at the Guardians Academy were just like, right, come down. You should come down. Honestly, it's good. It's really good. We do this. We've got these people training us. This person comes in and does a bit. This person comes in a bit. And then it was very similar names. It was the Shane Summers of the world. At the time, Joe Wakely, also known as Joey Osborne, was coming in and doing training sessions, and obviously Gene Money was doing it as well. So there was a lot of experience being kind of put in, and I thought, okay, I can go back and train. Maybe not get back in the ring just yet, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of almost like hitting the reset button.
And that was the biggest killer for me, was that everything that I'd done previously, I just had to squash and forget about.
Yeah.
And that was possibly the hardest thing. And then we were at training, and obviously I knew Christian and Lee, because obviously Christian was the ref, Lee was the photographer or videographer, depending on what we were doing. So they were always going to be a tag team. When they started training, they'd already said, we want to be a tag team. And then we were kind of 2KW. 2KW happened, and Pete put me and Christian together.
Yes, I remember that was against Johnny Storm. Good little match.
I absolutely loved it, and that was kind of we knew we were going to be kind of in together at some point as a tag team, and then obviously with Christian and Lee both training, we kind of got the idea that we wanted to. I didn't want what me and Christian were to do to stop what they were going to do together anyway. So we all kind of thought to each other, why don't we just do like a White New Day thing? Because we can be, and that's how it started. It was going to be very comical, very kind of.
Well, I think in a way with you and Christian at least it still is. I think.
We try and kind of mix it up a lot, because obviously if you're doing the same promos all the time and it's you guys angry in a car park.
Just to clarify, this is Team Mad.
Sorry, Team Mad.
Motivated, and plug the name in there. Motivated and dangerous.
We kind of try and mix it up as much as possible, with the whole being dark and mysterious and serious as to being comedic, and kind of showing that we do have different sides to us, which is why we do the tag team promos. We more or less go comedy on them, and then occasionally we'll throw out a serious one depending on the match, whereas Lee goes with the hustle stuff, which is just mind-blowing.
Well, we spoke to Lee a few months ago, depending on when this has been released, and how like the balance is almost with Team Mad is he comes in with the real kind of raw, serious, kind of like straight-faced, just like straight down the middle, like this is what's going to happen, I'm going to kick your ass, I'm better than you. And then you guys kind of almost take the edge off in a way. And then I think one of my favourite ones was a promo on the Hunter brothers.
Yes.
And you keep trying to get really serious and then Christian comes in. Oh, but drive safe. Head down the M1 if you can. You're like, yeah. But we're gonna rip you apart. And then he's like, have a good drive down. Why are you here? Why don't you visit?
That was one of the big things that the three of us sat down and like when we were talking about we were going to do that promo. It was again, Lee was or Hustle was kind of very big on. We need this. We need it to stand out. We need it to be different to what we're always doing. Because even though we're in the same dark car park that we use for most of the videos that we've done so far, we needed to put a little bit of a spin on it that kind of drew people in.
Yeah. Put your personalities over, I guess, as well.
Yeah. Kind of show that it's not just the whole kind of dark, moody, mysterious kind of we're going to jump ya and trying to escape, because obviously there are several people, whether it be up in ICW or anywhere, that do like a chavvy sort of gimmick.
Yep.
We're not a chavvy gimmick, even though we wear snapbacks. I wear a hoodie and that sort of thing. It's more of a kind of, I don't know, it's we wear that because that's kind of like what we like wearing, and we've got new gear, which helps. The new gear now is, obviously we're all the same, so Team Mad now we all match, as opposed to having Christian and Lee had the lion on their tights and I was in the camo. We've now got all matching gear, and as I'm going to wear it today, I'm not going to spoil the surprise, you boys can see it then. But yeah, so now that we're all kind of matching, it's all kind of moving in the right direction, and just some of the stuff that we've done as Team Mad is just ridiculous. Being able to being from what happened to kind of now is I never expected it.
It's like a phoenix out of the ashes.
Exactly that, yeah. And it's good to kind of be able to go up and go to Mansfield and stuff, and Derby and Nottingham and these sorts of places. We've had inquiries from people in Bristol off our promos. They haven't even seen us wrestle.
Just off the promos, that's
just
it. They
off the promos that they've seen. They messaged Lee saying how much, what was it got to take to get Team Mad to Bristol? And it was just kind of like, we can send you match videos. No, we're cool. We've seen your promos.
Wow.
That was kind of what it was, and it was like, wow, okay. The internet. Yeah. Power of the internet. Yeah. It takes you everywhere.
Speaking of the internet, whereabouts can we find Danny Mayhem, Team Mad?
Facebook and Twitter. Facebook, just search for Danny Mayhem. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up. Team Mad. I believe we have a YouTube channel. I think it's just Team Mad. And on Twitter, I am. It's going to bring a laugh for the Kai Payne fans. At Real Kai Payne. No, I'm at Real Danny Mayhem.
One last question before we let you go. Is there going to be any more Total Danny videos?
Yes, we hope so. We need to.
If you're listening, you haven't checked out the Dan. It's called Total Danny, isn't it?
It is. It's Total Danny.
You having an attempt at training Eve Marie was brilliant. Are we going to get any more?
Yeah, we want to. The hard thing is finding clips and bits of Total Divas to be able to use for. I think, and I'm not the biggest fan of Total Divas.
Is anybody?
Yeah, so I tend not to watch it. There's a couple of ideas that we've had, but we need to kind of sort out. But yes, we definitely want to do more Total Danny because we thoroughly enjoyed doing it.
I'll be looking out for that. Well, Danny Mayhem, thank you very much for joining us
very much.
Today. We'll catch you at Hope Wrestling and others, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hey. Cheers, man.
Cheers, thank you.
So that is it for Figure 4 Radio today. Kai, the social media guy, where are we?
Well, we are at figure4radio.weebly.com. You can check us out on Instagram, and Twitter is at Figure4Radio. Or why not give us a like on Facebook? It's facebook.com/Figure4Radio.
I've been the Mastermind Ollie Spring.
I've been the Killer Kyle Brand.
We'll be back next week, every Monday, bringing you fresh, up-to-date podcasts on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, and I believe we're on TuneIn as well.
Yes.
We are spreading our seed far and wide. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to Figure 4 Radio. We'll see you next time.
Figure 4 Radio.